Hey, everybody. Hey, Lisa.
Hey everybody. Hey Tammy, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How was your weekend?
It was nice. We got more stuff done in the garden. I got out I'm trying to do and create this food forest, right?
Right.
And I'm looking so weird with this. Maybe we can move some lighting or something. Good heavens. But I am trying to create like this food forest out in the woods. And I got my Jerusalem artichokes in the ground and I
Nice.
cleared out an area of where I'm going to be putting all of my food forest plants. So, really excited about that. Oh, thank you, Ark Wildman.
Thanks, Art.
How about
Art is
you?
hilarious. He did in his Instagram stories the trend that everybody's doing with the whole, what is it? Oh, I'm gonna screw it up. Is it Johnny Cash with the
I don't know. I never know what's
stick
trending.
'em
I'm
up
so like
everybody
out
and
of
he's holding the
trends.
chicken? Oh, it was too funny. I'm
I'm gonna try
robbing
to
this
hook up
place.
another mic. Hold on one second.
Where'd she go, everybody? Well, let's see who we got in here. So let me scroll back up.
Let's see.
Hello to Susan at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. Check out Scratch and Pete PA's video, by the way. Just an FYI, Susan. Hello, Heather, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. Hello, Tina, Life in the Piedmont. Hey, Adrian at Indiana Backyard Gardener. 3B Homestead. Hello, hello. Um, Let's see. Hey, Gwen, Broke Cowgirl Homestead. Rebecca at Suburban Hillbilly. Hello, hello. And Ark Wildman. Hello. Our new land. Hey, you guys. Saw that you were pressure canning. That's awesome. Yeah, the
Yeah, that
wind
is awesome.
was insane. This weekend was kind of tragic for a lot of people. I know in Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth area got hit with some storms. Halbert Farm got hit pretty hard, but not just them. So prayers for everybody who was affected by this god awful weather, I have to say.
It's been
Hey, Brooke,
crazy.
welcome.
The weather
Yeah,
has been crazy.
it's sad. It's sad.
Mhm.
Oklahoma, Arkansas, just
Mhm.
sad.
I haven't been watching the news, so I haven't heard about all of the damage that had occurred in other places. Last I heard, it was Iowa. So, um,
I'm bad not to watch the news myself.
mhm.
Um, but it's just, like when I say Halbert Farm got damaged, I mean they had nothing
Oh
compared
my
to.
goodness, they're in Texas, right?
Yeah, they're over by the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Uh-huh.
They've got a lot of branches down and a lot of flooding and stuff.
Oh no. And what happened
But
in Arkansas? Ark, you're okay, right? Ark Wildman? Was it
yeah,
up north?
I don't know. I know it was there were tornadoes, and then Ark. I'm sure he's okay, but I just want to. What was the other thing I was like? Jesus Loving Homesteader, which is Carmen.
Mhm.
They had some pretty nasty wind as well, and got
Mm.
um a lot of stuff torn off.
Mm. And that's expensive. I mean, the loss
Yeah,
of life, of course, is the worst thing. The
sure.
loss of an entire house or even the ability to live in it, if some of it is still standing, is horrible because insurance doesn't just automatically kick in. And some people who are fortunate enough to have their homes paid off might not have insurance.
Yeah,
um,
gotcha. Ark Wildman, Northern Arkansas.
okay. I asked because I remember when we were watching the storms that it was going through that area. We were tracking it for where it was coming through, and I saw that it was going through southeastern Missouri and some of northern Arkansas. Missouri just had them all over the place the other day. They were just tornadoes were just popping down everywhere. It was crazy.
Gwen at Broke Cowgirl just sent me a picture of her watching our live, but she shows the window. It's like super dark out. That's crazy. Be safe. Lord have
It's
mercy.
crazy. Yeah. Goodness. Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. We were fortunate in West Tennessee. The Echo Hook was right over our town. Yes, that was a blessing.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just, you know, I, I saw people in Texas who had flooding across their pastures.
mhm,
It just breaks my heart. Like, I'm sorry,
It
all of
is
it breaks my heart.
heartbreaking.
It's not just loss of life and loss of houses, but it's just,
The
I
loss of
don't know.
your
There's
plants
some,
in your garden, it's just so disruptive altogether, regardless of how
yeah, and I
severe
don't
it
know.
is.
I'm
I mean,
not trying to
obviously,
minimize anything, and I'm not
mhm.
trying to prioritize anything, guys. I'm just bad with words, so put up with me. But when you've got cattle that need
You're
pasture,
better than me.
and the pasture is
Hmm.
just a river, I mean, I know we all deal
Oh
with
my
it, and
goodness.
that's stuff that is survivable, but I don't know. I just can't say it right. So sorry, guys.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, it's just we've got a
Uh
chance
oh.
of
Am I freezing up?
what? Yeah.
Is my picture freezing up?
Yes.
Mm. Okay.
Drop yourself down
Oh.
and come back up.
Okay. Is that better?
Right now it does.
Okay.
So you
We'll
turn the
see.
camera off. Drop yourself out of the show and then come back to the show.
Oh, okay. All right.
Try
I'll be
that.
back.
Okay.
Okay.
Bear with us, guys. There you go. Hopefully this works. But yeah, it's just devastating, and weather is brutal and it's all out of our control. And it's hit or miss and we don't know what to do with it. So it's just crazy.
Better?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
So what's on the agenda?
So, today we're going to be chatting about preserving and storing your food, the food that you are growing or raising, or fortunate enough to be able to buy in bulk. And now you need to make sure that it doesn't go to waste. And I was
Hey,
thinking, hey, Teresa, good to see you. And thank you for the reminder for everybody to give the live a thumbs up on your way in.
hey,
Um,
Teresa, and Mountain Grandma, if
hmm,
you have the live running on your phone, pause it
okay.
and then you'll be fine.
Okay. Paused. All right. Um, the Amish video. Yeah, we love going to that store. You just never know what you're going to find.
Super
So
envious.
I used to be envious too. When I see people do that, when we lived in Arizona, I'd be like, man, I want one of those. At least yours is 2 hours away. If ever you drive in that direction, hey Jan, you just
No, no, it's across the state of South Dakota.
oh my
So
goodness,
that's like 8 hours away.
holy smokes, yeah, they are great prices. You just, I mean, you just you get it in bulk and then it's you to bring it home. Where the heck am I going to put this? That's one of the challenges we have. But also the vegetables, and they don't have a whole lot of vegetables out yet, so I didn't share that. But as we get into harvest time, we did get peaches, and I didn't share that. But you can get things by the case, and then you've got to bring them home and do stuff with them pretty pronto sometimes.
That's
So,
how that's what we do with Black Hills Bulk. We do the bulk order during canning
oh,
season and
that's
we order by the
cool.
case.
Yeah. Hey, creative redundancy.
Hey
So
there.
that's cool that you have a bulk food store near you.
Yeah, they deliver. They open up ordering, and then we order
Mhm.
um bulk. And Ryan's big
Mhm.
joke is every time you want to spend money on the garden, he said put it in the jar,
Mhm.
and he goes and we'll buy cases of vegetables versus trying to grow
Ah,
it.
the garden is a lot of work.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just because, we get a bigger yield buying the cases.
Oh gosh, right? Yes, I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
But he went with the hail netting, so I'm super stoked about that.
Yeah, that is cool. That hail netting was cool.
Yeah.
If anybody has any challenges with hail, go watch the video at Yogi Hollow Farm about this hail netting because I didn't even know that they had that. I would have had that when we were in Arizona.
But it's also for insects and all that. And what I love
Mhm.
about it is it doesn't act like a shade cloth because I didn't
Mhm.
want shade.
Yeah, yeah.
I also liked that it was a very large piece
Mhm.
because if you end up buying like 50 packages on Amazon because they're small
Uh-huh.
and it costs you a ton of money. And then you got to fashion it together and then it leaves holes for things. So, anyway,
Mhm.
it's good for insects as well, but
Mhm.
it's definitely quite an investment. And the reason why
Mhm.
we made the investment was for the hail
Yeah. Love that.
because hail comes through, and even if it's penny size
Mhm.
and not doing much,
Mhm.
it destroys every plant, and we it doesn't grow back well like it does
Mhm.
in warmer areas.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try to get some kind of netting over my cauliflower
Yep.
because it doesn't need any more pollination. It doesn't need anything but sunshine and water at this point.
If
Um,
you get any little, like you see like an infestation of little bugs, they're probably flea beetles. I use DE and it killed them in one day.
really,
Hmm.
because
Broccoli
I
and
just saw
cauliflower.
some of those this morning when I was out there, and believe it or not, they're on my dang horseradish leaves.
Broccoli and cauliflower.
Mm-hmm.
I just sprayed, not sprayed. I heavily coated in DE and then
Mm-hmm.
it worked.
When you're using the DE, do you coat the whole plant in DE underneath the leaves, just the soil, or what exactly? How do you apply that?
Um, I'm like a bull in a china shop.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see that there's a bug in my garden, which is rare, I
Mm-hmm.
reach in the DE bag and spread it.
Okay.
Plants, dirt, everything.
I will try that. Yeah, they're
It's
eating up
probably wasteful because you could
my.
use the thing that they have to pump it out,
Mm-hmm.
but I just go out there and immediately choke whatever's out there.
Awesome. Yeah, I will do that too. I'll do it to everything since I know that they're there. That way I kind of protect anything they haven't gotten on yet. But I think I'm going to get some netting and put it over the top
Yep.
of my cauliflower because they don't need anything.
Brooke, I don't know because I, knock on wood, have not had them here. What do you guys do?
In the chat, if everyone could share what they do for squash bugs.
And yes, Rebecca, mine is food grade DE.
Yeah. I have
Thanks for that
both.
reminder.
I have food grade and non-food grade DE.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Well, I'll
so
tell you
funny.
why. I bought some because they didn't have any food grade and I'm like, "Oh, I'm just going to get this." And then I got home and I got nervous because I want to use it in deodorant. So I was even thinking the non-food DE would be fine for the garden, to be honest. So then I ordered some food grade because I wanted to use it in deodorant that I'm going to be making. And so that's why I got the food grade because I didn't want to put non-food. I don't know what's in there. If it's not food grade, what the heck is it? How is there a difference? I
I'm
don't.
just laughing because they always say food grade, and I've never seen anything else but food grade. So I assumed it was all food grade, but I guess, yeah. But
Yeah,
lots of suggestions in the chat, Brooke, for how they handle.
nasturtiums. Spray and then wash off first thing in the morning. Never had squash bugs.
Hola, Maritza.
Hola, Marita. Both die if sprayed with soapy water. Seven dust,
Spinosad.
spinosad for
Yep.
squash bugs. I haven't heard of that. Huh. Mothballs around squash. I have mothballs.
Gwen says they're toxic to the soil, so I don't know. I don't
Oh.
use
I
mothballs, so
wonder
I
if
don't
you could
know.
put them in a little container
Hey
and then
Lori.
just move them when you water. Mm-hmm. Okay. Great tips. I saw one of those guys when I was clearing the woods. They were out in the woods. One of those guys were this just yesterday. Inchworms in my cabbage.
I don't know because I've never had any I've never been able to grow cabbage, and this is the first year I'm doing it. I covered mine the best I could, but that's all I know.
Mm-hmm. Colton is my grandson's name. That's cool.
And he's a handsome boy.
Your domestic animals can't. I can't imagine anything wanting to eat a mothball, to be honest. Soil is fine. I might try that because I have them.
Hey
And I'm
Tammy.
thinking maybe what you could do is put them in like a container because those things smell horribly. But if you get them in a container out there, you don't have to worry about them getting in the soil either.
Yeah.
Hey,
Um,
Jamie. Oh, here we go. Cabbage had worms. I used the dust. It was pretty bad. Hmm.
contact with the mothballs not eating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, creative redundancy. We were at 33 last week also, and we whatchamacallit, we finally got some stuff
Hmm.
in the ground.
Ark, we put the moth. That's why we have them is because we put them up underneath the trailer to keep the snakes away because we had heard that was good, and we haven't had snakes under the house.
Hmm.
Even the organic will kill other things, and I say to wash it off in the morning,
Yeah,
in the evening because the
I
bugs come. Oh,
I don't
apply
have
in
the issue, so I can't say anything. I plant marigolds, but I do that really for pollinators. I mean, they
Hmm.
also say marigolds are deer resistant, and I've watched them eat them all, eat the heads right off.
That's awesome creative redundancy.
So let's talk food prep.
Yeah. Let's talk about dry food storage first. I figured maybe we could do this like topic by topic kind of
Sure.
thing. Um, Dry food storage. So for our flour, when I'm purchasing flour in bulk, like those big, huge bags that I was showing some video of in the Amish store tour video, those bags I will, if I get them that big, I break them down into smaller bags and I put them in the freezer. Or if I can fit that big, huge bag in my deep freeze, that's what I'll do.
Yep.
Depends on how much food I got in the deep freeze, to be honest.
Yep.
But I freeze it for a minimum of 24 hours to kill any eggs that might be in there. And if I can, I'll freeze it for even 48 or 72 hours. And I don't
Yeah.
think any longer than that's necessary. Like 24 hours is fine. Sometimes I just forget that I put it in the freezer. Um,
I do the same. I do that with dried beans as well and rice. And then
mm-hmm,
we usually do at least 48 hours to
mm-hmm,
72. Then we take it out and we let it um warm up and dry off, in case any
mm-hmm,
condensation forms.
mm-hmm.
And we check it before we package it.
Yeah. Did you say you did that to your beans?
Yep, I bought a 50-pound bag of black beans when I had a moment.
Mm-hmm.
We don't eat black beans.
Uh, I
But
oh, you know what I might be making this week for my healthy snacks videos? Black bean brownies.
nice.
You
Well, I'm
might
gonna
black
I'm gonna start
beans if you
canning
make
them, I
brown.
think,
Mm-hmm.
and make baked beans out of them.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But yeah, we do that because from the bulk order, that's what we do. Like I always
Mhm.
get a 50-pound bag of flour. And
Mhm.
if I'm storing it long term, I do all that. Um,
Mhm. Yep. Me too, Rebecca.
yeah, all the time.
Mhm. Now, what about when it comes out of the freezer? I have bins. I had tons of bins from moving. So I mean, I've got the 5 gallon buckets. I just don't have enough 5 gallon buckets. So I put it into a bin, both the rice and the flour. My beans tend to end up in 5 gallon buckets, but just the shape of the bags makes the bins easier to put mine in. How do you store yours once they're going into the bin or
The beans
once
and the
they're out of
rice
the
were
freezer?
vac sealed.
Mhm.
Be safe, Gwen. I totally get it.
Mhm.
The black beans and the rice we vac sealed
Mhm.
and we put them in totes so
Mhm.
that way we could pull them out.
Mhm.
We also for the flour because I use it, we put
Mhm.
it in what do they call those things? I want to say it's a dog food container, but it's not. They
Uh-huh.
also make them for food, and
Mhm.
it's got the
Oh, it's a tall one with the round lid.
yes, the gamma
Yes,
lid.
because we have a couple of those. Yep.
I have one that I use for flour,
It's
and
funny because we put dog food in it. So when you said that, you were yeah.
I actually leave it outside of my pantry
Mhm.
because my pantry is getting full. Gamma lid, yep, that's it. And
Mhm.
so what I do is I just leave it where I can access it, but then I fill my canister on the kitchen counter.
Mhm. I'm gonna have to look up gamma lids.
Yeah. Tina, I would can them all, but I would run out of room. It was a 50-pound
Mhm.
bag, so that's why we vac sealed them
Yeah.
because, storing all the jars and the Mylar bags and
Mhm.
all that stuff is just like it takes up so much room.
Huh, with bay leaves. That's interesting.
Yep, I've heard of that before.
Hmm. Is that to help keep the bugs away, Susan?
Adrian, do you freeze them dry? Because these are all dry beans.
Mhm.
It depends on the time of the year. Freezing would be easier for me. Because otherwise, like if it's right after we harvested and we got a cow and all that stuff, that's a lot of.
Mhm. Some of my mylar bags.
Yep.
Stick band down in the
Yeah,
basement.
that's what
Mhm.
we do. Oh, okay,
Yep.
fresh, Adrian. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's just two of us, and I got it because I thought it was good to have dry beans that will last for a really long time.
Mhm.
But I just thought it was good to have a protein on hand if needed.
Yep. Agree.
Probably was more an impulse prepping buy than anything else,
Mhm.
honestly.
Yep. And another thing is actually like one thing I've been trying to do with those beans is to make some prepackaged meals with the beans from dehydrated foods, meals in a jar or, in the bag, but the meals in the jar concept. Because my thought is if I ever need to, I used to think if I need my food, if, anything, the power goes out, if there's a grid down, whatever the scenario,
Yep.
and you need your food, you're going to have all the time in the world for the food. But when chaos ensues and you're stressed out and people might be needing to take care of different things in some capacity, um, whether it's upping their game on the garden, having to wash clothes by hand, whatever the case may be. I thought that if I could prepare the meals instead of just having beans and make sure I had enough meals on hand, that would certainly alleviate some of the stress later, right? So,
Yeah.
because all these beans, what you gonna do with all these beans? Nobody wants just beans, and I don't know. Maybe you won't be in the right mindset. You won't have access to all the recipes that you can find online and things like that to do that. So, um, That's something else I've been trying to do with all those beans. We have a lot.
Yeah, I vac sealed them and all that stuff, and they've done really well. I mean, because they've been in there for a while. But
Mhm.
I'm thinking of taking some up and canning them because the reality, like I said, it was an impulse buy because they were dry, but it was a
Mhm.
cheap deal to have
Yep.
protein in the pantry.
Mhm.
God forbid something happened, but
Mhm.
there's two of us and only one of us really likes to eat beans.
Yeah.
But I do like to make like black bean burgers and all that. But
Mhm.
if they're
Yeah.
already soaked, it's a lot easier.
Mhm. In food grade 5-gallon buckets with the twist lids that seal and add the oxygen absorbers. Yep. Beans. Growing the
Yeah.
beans. I'm growing the kidney beans. Like first time. Super excited about that.
Suburban Hillbilly, you've been getting like tons and tons of rain where you are. Saw a lot of people on Instagram were like, I am tired of rain. Oof.
Mm. Yeah. That's hot.
Yep.
Sugar
Correct.
bricks. Mhm. Yep.
Correct.
Good point.
Oh Lord, 92.
Oh
Oof.
my goodness. You guys get a bit warmer than we do here, and we're not even that far from you.
Gosh, I'm just thankful we hit 66 today.
That's awesome.
So, food,
Mhm.
we were talking about dry stuff.
Mhm.
I think we
Mhm.
covered that one.
Yeah. Now, what about your? Let's talk about potatoes.
Hmm.
Um, I've heard that if you want to keep a potato, because immediately I'm thinking of drying, like dehydrating your potatoes. That's like my first long food storage thing. Slice them up, blanch them, and then put them in the dehydrator.
Right.
Um, but I have seen that people have said if you put them in a box and you can put them like in some sort of a root cellar, which I
Hmm.
don't know. We have our storm shelter, which I heard I could use as a root cellar. That if you do that, that it'll keep those potatoes in their original form, potato form, for longer. Has anybody done that though? And can they speak to that?
Well, while we're waiting,
Awesome,
because
Ethan.
I don't long term store my potatoes because they sprout.
Mm-hmm.
So one of
Mm.
the things that some of the things that we've done is we've blanched and dehydrated, blanched
Mm-hmm.
or cooked and freeze dried. And the other thing is canned.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you, not a fan of canned
Me
potatoes.
neither. Not even a store bought
Very
can.
bizarre taste to them.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan. So I think we will go with freeze dried for the win for us or
Mm-hmm.
dehydrated.
Yeah. The apple with the potatoes. I might try that. I might try
Annette at
it
the
now just to
Annette
see.
at the Cow Emporium,
Hey,
they
Gail.
store theirs too. Hey Gwen. I mean, hey Gail, I apologize.
In a cool, dark room. Susan,
Yep.
how long do they last?
You got
Smokehouse
to
with
keep
no
checking them.
beans, root cellars, but okay. Yeah. Back from my walk in the park.
Yeah.
Up to 40 degrees. Good to know.
Yep. I mean, and you have to, I think it's like laying them out so they're not touching or whatever. You have to cure
Mm-hmm.
them first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and all that.
Huh. Did they, Jan? Interesting.
Yeah, mine turned out great canned wise.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan always jokes he grew up on that stuff. He likes baby food. I prefer my vegetables to actually have some, um, I don't know, like green beans in a can or like mush. I'm not a fan. I do it because it's the best way to preserve stuff, but
Okay. Yeah. I actually keep a small cardboard box in my kitchen, kind of in a dark corner where it's out of the way. And when I buy potatoes, I'll put them in there because sometimes I buy a lot of potatoes at one time. We eat a lot of potatoes, and I will set them over there and they every now and then I do have to keep an eye on them. But they could stay over there for, I don't know, probably a good month, and they last. But I haven't tried putting any down in the cellar, and that's bought from a store where they're already kind of aged. I'm going to try the apple thing just so I can see if it works before I
Yep.
save the ones that we'll be harvesting within the next month or so. Super starchy.
Yeah, they weren't super starchy, and I don't think it was texture either. I mean, part of the
Mm-hmm.
texture is we are a high elevation,
Mm-hmm.
so ours get canned at a different weight, and like boiling takes longer.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
like
makes sense.
the first batch we did, they said to put the potatoes in the water, bring it to a boil for so long. Well, if you think about
Mm-hmm.
it, my potatoes are in there forever
Mm-hmm.
waiting for the water to boil. So the second batch,
Yes.
we waited till the water boiled, put it in
Mm-hmm.
there for 10 minutes, and they were better. But I think I'm just not a fan of some canned foods
Mm-hmm.
because it's just too mushy.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. A lot of people who grow potatoes just leave them in the ground till they're ready to eat some.
We do
I
that,
did
but
the
then
grow
we end up
bags, so
harvesting and then have to have them bring them inside.
mm-hmm. Tend to be mush, but our white potatoes do better canned. Huh. Potatoes. Gotta go with mine. That's awesome.
Already, wow.
We tilled our garden perfectly good from a year ago. Maybe what I'll do is when they're ready to be harvested, I will move some of the grow bags down into the cellar and just let them stay in there till
Hey,
I'm done with the
dear.
first one. Canner.
I use mine, but the problem is I had
Good to see
way
you, Gear.
too many to do in that small one. Dear
Awesome.
God.
Great tips, everybody.
For me it was and I know not everybody has them, but I really, really prefer the freeze dried because I find that they taste just like they came out of the dirt.
Awesome. Lori, that's awesome.
Hmm.
Pickle crisp to canned potatoes and keep them crisp. Interesting.
Some people said raw pack, even though it's not approved. They've
Mm-hmm.
done raw pack, and that was better
Mm-hmm.
because they certainly cook for long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Suburban hillbilly is hilarious. Everybody's been here for over 2 hours.
That is funny.
She's got the
What
greatest
about,
sense of humor.
oh, I'm going to pick an easy one. How about squash? Squash
What do you?
lasts forever for me. At least the spaghetti squash.
Oh,
That has lasted forever for me. Like literally, it one of the reasons I love growing spaghetti squash, and I don't have any in the garden yet. I don't know if it's too late or not. But I love growing spaghetti squash because literally I keep it until the entire next growing season. I just put it in a cupboard back in the back, and there she is, and it stays good. It's crazy.
that's cool. I
Spaghetti.
can't chime in because I don't grow squash except for like zucchini and yellow.
I like that spaghetti squash is like a noodle substitute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Winter squash lasts for. Plant the seed. You should be fine. Good, because that was my plan. My plan is to still plant them and just
Yeah.
see.
So, Tammy, you are in a different zone now, girl.
Yep.
You're not in Arizona anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm still acclimating. I was looking at Jan's garden and I'm like, holy cow, I'm behind again. I'm behind again. Like clearly her plants are like way bigger than mine. And I think that I'm, like you said, still kind of stuck in a different grow time. So Gail, I cook it in the I cut it. There's a couple different ways. I have cut it in half and put it into upside down in a pan with a little bit of water and stuck it in the oven and then baked it. Or you can cut it and you can put it in your instant pot too. If you have an instant pot, which I kind of like that better because it doesn't heat up the house and stuff in the summer. But once you get it cooked, you can scrape it all out and you can serve it like spaghetti. You can do like a southwestern style with black beans and some taco beef and seasonings like that on it. I've seen it done with like lemon and gosh, what is that? Parmesan cheese. So many ways to cook that stuff. We tend to eat it mostly like spaghetti.
Cool. Yeah, I do zucchini chips.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Troy.
Acorn squash lasts for months too. Hang on, get caught up here. Pickled squash relish.
Yep.
Canned is so good. What kind of squash though?
You can do a whole bunch of different kinds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're real. Spaghetti squash is so easy to grow, but I feel like it's a good prepping squash because of the fact that it will, if you can keep it growing, if you were to ever have a shortage on pasta, you'd still have that spaghetti squash. Squash flour, dehydrated summer squash. Ooh, you know what I just saw a recipe for that I want to try when I have zucchini is like it's supposed to be like a zucchini candy and you make it in the dehydrator.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to use like sugar. I think you could do honey or something else, or maybe some monk fruit sweetener or something. I like to freeze it and put in a regular zucchini when I have an abundance of it. I like to do I've seen the zucchini chips and I want to do those, but I do like to shred it and then freeze it in like 1 cup increments to bake with because there's so many things you can bake with that zucchini.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about canning zucchini? Zucchini relish. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Cinnamon and sugar for spaghetti squash.
I've heard of
Interesting.
that.
I haven't. I wonder how. I wonder if I'd like it. Canned
Oh,
squash.
yeah. When you get down to gear, I'll wait.
Okay. Parmesan zucchini chips. I think you made some of those once, Jan. I think I saw you do a video on that. Oh, that's awesome, Adrian. Harvested your first spaghetti squash. See, I
Oh,
see stuff like that
that
and
was
I'm like,
Gail. That was Gail.
oh, that was Gail? That's
Yep.
awesome, Gail. Summer squash raw too. Oh, yeah. Summer squash and zucchini. I love to cut them up and put them in like a pasta salad or even on top of a regular salad. They're good. Zucchini pizza
Yeah.
salad.
So you take if you have an overgrown zucchini,
Uh
you
huh.
don't have to have an overgrown. But think about it. You take the zucchini and you make the slices
Mm-hmm.
and you top them with sauce and cheese and all that stuff. It's really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that does sound good. I'm going to have to try that. Gail's got a huge zucchini that's growing, and it's the Black Beauty zucchini, and they're supposed to get really big. And those would probably be really good to do that with because they're so big.
And if you don't use all of it, you can then shred the rest and put it in the freezer to make bread.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Thanks for sharing that, Gwen. Did you see this too?
Oh, yeah. I remember she did a video on it.
Mm-hmm. Spaghetti noodles with zucchini. Oh, yeah, you've got the what do they call those? There's machines that you can run them through.
Noodles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it makes the
Hey,
noodles out of
Tiffany.
them.
Canadian Family Life.
Yeah, I'm glad you got some. Thanks for sharing about the vine borers. I think I've seen some of those bugs here.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know. That's my next nemesis is going to be the bugs. Yeah. Right? Agree. Yeah, getting hungry. Pasta machine. Yeah, the spiral. Those were the words I was looking for.
Yeah.
Mhm. What about your broccoli, all of your cabbage, broccoli, your brassicas. How does everybody store those?
I usually don't get enough to store, but we
Mhm.
did plant a ton this year.
Mhm.
Cabbage we planted with the intent to make sauerkraut.
Mhm.
But if we do get a ton of broccoli and cauliflower,
Oh
I will
yes,
blanch it and freeze it.
Mhm. I've never frozen broccoli. How does it freeze?
I don't know. I never tried it. I'm going to do
Oh,
it.
has anybody frozen broccoli? Yep, and fermenting the cabbage and walked, feeling accomplished. That's awesome, Gail.
Yeah, I'm hoping the
Coleslaw.
cabbage grows this time.
Mhm. Oh, Jan said she just did. Boil it and then freeze it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Our goal is to eliminate buying frozen vegetables.
Mhm.
So that's what our goal is this year.
Yeah, because all the food at the stores just keeps getting sketchier and sketchier.
Yeah, have you opened up a bag, like even if you open up a bag of Equate vegetables, it's
Mhm.
like there's it's just nasty. I'm sorry, it's just nasty. I can't do it
Mhm.
anymore. And so mind you, we will not be able to grow enough to meet that goal, but we
Mhm.
will offset it with buying can cases of food to preserve.
Yeah, buying it in bulk. Heck yeah. What about other vegetables like your I think we talked about beans and green beans, cucumbers. I know everybody's going to be making pickles.
I made sweet relish the other day.
Mm. Ooh, I'll bet that's good. Which reminds me, I
Um,
just ran out of sweet relish. I should make some.
yeah, I went made some sweet relish. I'll also probably freeze dry some of the broccoli or the cauliflower. Um,
Broccoli and
but
cucumber.
I'm over spending money on that at the store.
Yes, random E. coli. I had bought a bag of frozen strawberries, and then they were recalled.
Mhm.
True, the generic is getting super questionable. All of
Yep.
it's questionable, but especially the good value. Oh, you dehydrate broccoli.
Yep.
Interesting. You can cook cucumbers?
Yep.
I've never cooked a cucumber. What do you make with it, Susan? Yay, Gail.
Tina, that sounds so good.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? And cucumber chips. You
Yep.
know what else you can do with cucumbers that I saw and I'm wanting to try it? I might I'm going to try it, and if it's really good, I'm going to do a video of it. You can use it to make salad dressing.
Yep.
And Milk and Honey Heritage Farms is doing a salad dressing collaboration. So if it turns out good for me, I'm going to do a video.
Um, Gwen does, I think it's cucumbers and onions. She loves it.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. Fanny Farm. Oh, yeah. Is there one in there? So Susan's doing at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch is doing a Fanny Farmer collaboration where everybody picks a recipe from this 1896 cookbook and makes it. It's open if anybody wants to join in. I'll go check that out, Susan. I didn't realize they had one in there for that. See, our lunch is calling me. I hear you. Making me hungry too. We're all going to eat really healthy because we're talking about all the healthy stuff. How about your carrots? Because carrots and radishes seem to last the longest in the refrigerator when I buy them from the store. I've never been successful at growing carrots or radishes. Maybe this year will be different, but they do seem to last a while all on their own. And the only thing I can think to do with those would be to pickle radishes, or for carrots. I mean, I guess you can can them. I'm not a crazy fan of canned carrots. I never seem to use them.
I will, again, this is me, and I am
Mm-hmm.
not picky, but this is me.
Mm-hmm.
I will not can carrots again unless my husband's eating them.
Mm-hmm.
I, mm-mm. I will blanch and freeze before canning them.
Okay,
Um,
so blanch and freeze on the carrots then if you
yeah,
freeze.
that's me. I mean, we have plenty of freezer
Mhm,
space, and I know, okay, everybody says,
mhm,
well, you don't want it in the freezer in case the power goes out. Well, I've got a generator. I mean,
mhm.
do I have every possible way to protect them? No, but
Yeah,
canned carrots, oh,
yeah, I'm not a fan
in fact, I
either.
wouldn't eat them.
I
And
actually
that's
have some that I need to use, and I'm gonna try and experiment with them.
yeah.
I want to tell you what it is, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have some people in shock and awe.
Hold off then, because you'll probably do a video.
Yeah, I'll do a video with what I do with my canned carrots.
We did we freeze dry a lot raw, and the reason why we do that is we add them to chicken stock and all that stuff and to other
Mhm.
recipes, soups and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of different things you can do with carrots, and
Mhm.
the one thing I will say is like I followed a recipe to a T for fermenting, and it was our best carrot harvest. It
Mhm.
was the only one we got in the past 5 years,
Mhm.
and they molded. So
Oh
don't do
no.
your whole harvest.
Uh-huh.
Do one jar, see how it goes
Yeah.
before you do it.
Yeah.
I think that's
Good
important.
idea.
But
And I forgot
dehydrated
about
carrots.
this.
Yep.
Shredding them to add to salads. I wonder if you shred them if they freeze well shredded. Tina, have you done
Zucchini
that?
does.
Kind of like zucchini.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, they are. Carrot cake muffins are wonderful. Still hungry though. All right, I'm going to move on from carrots and radishes. What about your fruits? I mean, we are going to have an abundance of peaches. So, of course, canned peaches, but
Hmm.
has anybody dehydrated peaches or done anything different with peaches like that? I've never had an abundance of peaches, and they go like that because the family loves peaches. But I might this year.
We
What's everybody?
freeze dry, dehydrate, can make them into other recipes like yeah, Adrian said, peach butter,
Ooh,
um,
wow.
that
That's
kind of thing.
Acutely retains more nutrients than canning when
Yes,
cooked.
it
Well, good
does.
to know, Troy. Thank you for that.
Yeah, especially with our elevation. I mean, that stuff gets cooked the
Mhm,
heck out of it. Water
mhm,
bathing, we're longer. Um, so yeah, I agree, Troy.
mhm.
My one goal in life would be to have a peach tree, but it's not going to happen.
Never say never.
It won't because I've talked to the local nurseries. I talked to one this weekend too.
Mm. Oh, peach hand pies.
Oh,
Peach pit jelly made with the seeds and skins.
fascinating.
I'm writing that down.
Dehydrated peaches make wonderful peach hand pies. I rescued peaches on Mario. God.
Oh, now I get it. I had no idea what you were talking about here.
21 peach tree plants. That's freaking amazing,
Ground cherries. That's cool,
Jan.
you. Holy smokes, Jan.
Yeah, I'd be
You're gonna have
excited.
a you're gonna have just this huge orchard of peaches. Check the chill hours needed for it to produce in your area.
Canned peaches with chocolate cake? Interesting.
Apple jelly from the skins. That's cool. after
Interesting.
making apple butter.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome.
I love apple butter.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, two
Yeah, that's
died,
very cool.
but Jan, my gosh, you still have an orchard.
You're gonna have an orchard. That's so awesome.
Yeah, here they say that the more often than not, in the Black Hills where I am, not in all of South Dakota, but they say that more often than not, the blossoms get frosted.
Mm-hmm. So the first year we were here, when it was super duper cold out, I had read that you want to put leaves around your trees to kind of insulate them, and you would get a lot of blossoms that way. And
Yeah.
I will say, yes, you do. I did that.
Nice.
But remember, that's when we had the Arctic blast.
Oh, crap.
So what happened was my peach tree actually got blossoms, an abundance of them, and even earlier than they would have than the neighbors. We'll put it that way. I had
Okay.
blossoms before the neighbors did because they were insulated, right? I put up fence, I think I did a video of it, but I put up like round fencing that you'd put over the top of your tomatoes, for example, that just circles one plant, and I filled it with leaves, and it was just a bad idea because I didn't do that this year because I don't want my trees to get blossoms too soon because we end up with hail and these cold storms up until May. And thought I'd share that. Don't do that, Jan. That's one thing you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, insulate the roots. Just not so much, I guess,
Yeah.
using comfrey leaves to mulch. Mm-hmm.
We
Oh
have
gosh,
about,
we've only got a couple minutes. Anybody have questions? Boy, this went fast.
I know.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to grow some comfrey. We'll see how that does.
I just don't have the full space for the sun and
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fortunately, we're all going to be able to harvest some kind of food. I feel like every year is a year of wins and fails when it comes to gardening.
yep.
You're going to have wins and you're going to have fails. Anyone have any questions for us before we shut down the live for today? Got
Shut down
about
the live.
two
That's a
days,
wrap.
2 minutes left. I hope this was really helpful for everybody. I know I got a couple new tips.
Absolutely. I think
Combined,
so.
all of us combined, and we're geniuses.
We're geniuses.
All of our brains together.
Yeah. See, creative redundancy, where are you located? Oh,
State
yeah.
food forest permaculture.
I gave up on loofah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so said creative redundancy said my strawberry plant didn't make it. And so our stock tank full of strawberries is not looking good.
Really? Huh.
And I don't think they made it. And that's so
Mm-hmm.
bizarre because we've had them every year, even during the worst winter.
Mm-hmm.
And loofah, I find challenging 3B because we started them indoors because we are very short season.
Mm-hmm.
I started them in March, April, then I put them in February. Rochelle at Brampton Gardner did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's got them, they're doing well. Mine go into shock when they go outside,
Mm-hmm.
and they take so long to recover that by the time they recover, it's frost time. Oh,
Hmm.
late snow this year, creative. Gotcha.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder which kind of strawberry are you planting?
It's everbearing.
Which are supposed to be the ones that are really
I've
tolerant
had
to
them for
cold
years.
weather. Wow.
I've had them for years, except for the ones I added last year. But I
Mhm.
can tell you right now, if they're all dead, I'm done with strawberries and I will fill it with vegetables.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
because that's a beautiful bed to
Mhm.
use under hail netting.
Yeah.
But I never
Mm.
got enough to make a
Or a
sponge.
different kind of berry, right?
I've not had luck with
Um,
berries except for strawberries.
Interesting.
Blackberries died, blueberries look like they're dead, raspberries
Mhm.
don't produce much.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it could be me too, and I get that.
Mhm.
But I've just decided that what we will do is use it as a great big bed for gardening.
Mhm. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Strawberry in the weird container has strawberries. That just happened. That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
I got this one gardening book, and there are some crazy kinds of berries and things in there I'd never heard of. And I'm growing the ground cherries too, like Gail is, and I put them out in the woods and where I'm not. So the deal is we have our leach bed, and it's at the bottom of a hill, and I think it's a combination of maybe leach bed runoff and rain that gets down there, and that ground down there is moist. No, it's not stinky. It's nothing nasty like that. I would not plant anything down there if it was. But our lemon, and it's also shaded enough that it gets morning sun, not afternoon, where it just beats it the heck up.
Yeah,
Um, but the ground cherries are down there, the lemon balm's down there, and it's kind of damp. But otherwise, I don't mess with it. So it
right.
makes me wonder, like, yeah, it makes I don't know anything about I'm going to learn about ground cherries, but there's these other kind of berries that we could do. Okay.
Said lovingly.
Yes. Thank you, Lisa. All right,
Because I know you
everybody.
have something to do. So,
We do. We do. Thank you all so much for coming. And we will see you next week, everybody. Have a good one,
bye.
have a good one.
Have a good one. Thanks
Bye,
for attending this
everyone.
3-hour seminar.
See you next time.